and in this tutorial we're going to take a look at FTP accounts. So I'm going to show you guys how to set up an FTP account, and then I'm also going to set up an FTP client and upload and download some files from the server. In fact, I don't think I'll download any, but I will upload some. So I've got a little bit of an issue right here, and it's an issue that some of you guys might have as well, where FTP accounts are set to 0 out of 0. So I got a really cheap hosting package, and I know some of you guys might have this issue as well, where you don't have any FTP accounts, and that's fine, because these are additional FTP accounts. So you don't need to have additional FTP accounts, but it is nice to have for certain situations. So there is a default one that we can make use of, and I'm going to show you guys how to make use of that one. But let's take a look at this FTP accounts page and see what's on there. So I just opened it up in a new tab, which is over here, and the reason why is I just didn't want to lose this page. Anyway, you'll see that when I open this page, I've got the option to add an account, even though over here it's set to 0. So I'm gonna get an error if I fill in this form, but let's fill it in anyway, and you guys can see just how to add an account. So the first thing we have to do is create a username, which would be my login username, and I'm just gonna set that to Quentin. Password, I'm going to just use the password generator, so go ahead and copy that, tick the box, make sure that you actually have copied it and pasted it in a safe place, use the password, and that will create a very strong password. And then you'll see below we have a directory and a quota. So directory basically just allows you to set up a specific directory for the user. So this is why you might want to have an additional FTP account, is if someone needs to access your server, but you don't want to give them full access to everything, then you can set up the location just for where they can FTP into. So just give them one certain directory, put that directory path over here. Like right now we would be FTPing into public HTML/Quentin, and that's fine. This file doesn't exist, but if it did exist, then that's the one place I would be allowed to go. And quota just lets you set a quota of bandwidth. So if you know that this person is only supposed to upload one file, you can set them a certain amount of bandwidth, and that way they won't upload a whole bunch of rubbish. Otherwise, you can leave this at unlimited if you know they're going to be uploading and downloading files from your server quite often. Anyway, once you've done that, click create FTP account and it will create the account. But you can see I've got the error, and like I said, that is because I have 0 additional FTP accounts. So that is how to set one up. If you do have additional accounts, it would have created it, and that account would appear down here at the bottom of the page. Well, it would actually appear on this one, but you can see we've got special FTP accounts. So out of these special FTP accounts, this one is the default one that I'm able to use. And yeah, I can get the username and the password for this by clicking on configure FTP client, and you can see I've got a username, I've got a host, and I've got a port. And one thing we're missing here is a password, but by default, if you're going to use this special FTP account, you're going to be able to use the same password that you use for cPanel. So when your hosting provider set up cPanel for you, they should have sent you an FTP password. Otherwise, you can use the same one as you used for cPanel, and it should be fine. So let me open up my FTP client here, and you can see that I'm using a program called FileZilla, which is free. You can download it. It works for Windows and Mac. And what I want to do is set up a new FTP account. So I can quick connect by just putting my host, my username, password, and port over here, by grabbing them all from there and putting here. But if I know I'm going to connect to this account very often, I'll set up a new server by clicking on that icon, click on new site, create Josie Corp as a site, and then I'll add in my host name, which is this thing over here. And we don't actually have to have FTP dot our URL. For most sites, it'll actually just work without the FTP, but you can use the FTP there if you wanted to. Same thing. Then port, I can see, is 21. So that is default. Most hosting providers will use 21 as your FTP port unless they're not following standards. Then logon type, we need to change this to normal so that we can put in a username and a password. So I've got a username over here, and I'm going to paste that in over here. And then I'm going to copy and paste the same password that I used for cPanel. I'm going to put that over here, and then I'm going to click on connect. And you can see we're resolving an address. So this is like the status of our connection going on here. Right now it's verifying certificate. So a window popped up that just asked me to hit OK because the service certificate was unknown. And yeah, now you can see we've got some stuff that changed in these two blocks. Well, actually just this one. So this is our server. I'm connected to the server in this block, and this block is my local computer. So if I expand this, you can see the files on my computer, and right now we're on the username Quinton, and on the desktop, and you can see that there is an index file, another page, and an admin directory, and these two are actually hidden files on Mac. So don't worry about them, they're hidden. I can't see them, but FileZilla can actually see them, so it's picking them up here. But if I were to minimize these windows or move them away, you can see I don't have those files here, but I do have my index file, my another page file, and my admin file. So or my admin folder. Let's upload those files to my server. So let's pull FileZilla up here again. And I'm going to go to the public HTML directory because that's where all the files that we want people to see must go. And I'm going to upload another page by just clicking on it and hitting upload. And it goes from this block to this block, and now it's on my server. And I can verify that if I go to the file manager. And I already have this open. I'm going to hit reload. And there we go. Another page.html has been uploaded to the server. And I could also visit that page by going to josiecorp.com/anotherpage.html, and there we go. Hey you, I am another page. So that is uploaded. Let's go back to FileZilla, and I want to upload this admin folder, and this is something we're going to be taking a look at in the next tutorial, but this is just a folder with another index file inside of it, and I'm gonna go ahead and upload that. And all this folder has is just another page. So if I change the URL here, I can go to admin, the admin folder, and there we go, we're on the admin page. And if I come back here and hit reload, you can see it was successfully uploaded. So yeah, that is how to upload files to your server using FTP. And if you ever want to download them, you can do the same thing. Just highlight them, right click, and hit download, and they're going to be downloaded. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys in this tutorial. Don't forget